Welcome back to school. Alright, so now for this week we will focus on lesson 4, segment theorems. And the essential question is, what is the relationship of the segments formed by intersecting chords, secants, tangents? And we'll deal with similar triangles and the angle-angle similarity theorem. Okay? Alright, so let's come over here and look at the worksheet that has been handed out to you. At the top you see 5.4.1 for Unit 5, Lesson 4, and this is the first worksheet you received. And the essential question stated, what relationship exists among segments of two intersecting chords in a circle? So you can see within this circle we have two intersecting chords. We have segment AB, the first chord, and then segment CD, the second chord. So I need for you to fill in the blanks with me. Keep up now. Take out your pencils and let's complete the given worksheet. If two chords intersect, and we do see two chords that intersect, in the interior of a circle, the product, let's write this down, of the lengths of the segments of one chord equals the product of the lengths of the segments of the other chord. Now, we know to find a product, we need to multiply two measures. And what I do, when I focus on one chord now, we're finding a product for one chord. Let's start with segment AB, this one chord. And I look at this as piece times piece. This segment is divided into two pieces. One piece is segment AE, the other piece is segment EB, as you see stated here. So, this is just one chord. Let's call this chord 1. For chord 1, we're going to find a product for its pieces. So we multiply piece times piece. And then we go to the second chord. I'll call it chord 2. Chord 2 is segment CD. It was also divided into two pieces. So we want to find a product for those two pieces. So we multiply the measure for segment CE times the measure for segment ED. So piece times piece. CE and ED. Once again, when two chords intersect in the interior of a circle, you take the first chord and you find a product for its pieces. So for this one chord, piece times piece, and set that product equal to, for the second chord, piece times piece of it. Okay? Okay. Now, let's move the sheet up and try a few problems together. Beginning with practice problem 1. Let me bring the focus in better. Okay, so for the first problem, and we do need a calculator at our desk, let's set up the equation. So we have, once again, see two chords that intersect in the interior of a circle. And so we start with one of the chords. I like to begin with the one that has the variable involved. So for this chord here, it is divided into two pieces. We want to find a product for those pieces. So 4 times x. And we set this product equal to, for the other chord, it has two pieces, so piece times piece, 7 times 16. All right, so now let's complete this equation. 4 times x is 4x, and 7 times 16 is 112. All right, so to isolate x, we want to divide by 4. Let's do this to both sides of the equation. And we get x is equal to 28. Very simple. Okay, so let's try another one. Looking at problem 2. Now, I've always warned you, when you see an expression given representing the measure of a segment or an angle, we want to go ahead and place parentheses around those parentheses, just around those expressions, to make sure that we multiply both value times a number. All right, so let's begin with either one. Let's start with maybe this chord. All right, it's divided into two pieces, so we multiply one piece times the other piece. So that would be 9 times x plus 4, and set that product equal to, go to the second chord. And for it, we multiply piece times piece. So that is 6 times the x plus 6. Now let's simplify the given equation. On the left side, we need to distribute. 9 times x is 9x, plus 9 times 4 is 36. On the other side, let's apply the same concept and multiply 6 times each one of these. terms within the expression. So 6 times x is 6x, plus 6 times 6 is 36. Now we need to isolate x. I always begin with my variable terms, and I always move the variable term with the least value. So I want to undo 6x by subtracting 6x from both sides, and that leaves 3x's plus 36 on the left side of the equation. On the right side, the 6x's cancel each other out, and we have 36. So we bring it on down. Now we need to move this 36 over to the other side with this like term. To undo plus 36, we subtract 36. Do that to both sides, so it cancels out on the left, and that leaves 3 times x is equal to 0. And the last thing we want to do is divide each side by 3, and we find that x is equal to 0. Are there any questions? At this time, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and solve this with you. I want to begin with this chord because it has variables involved. So, we want to multiply this piece times this piece. 9x times x. And set that product equal to, for the other chord, we multiply piece times piece. So we have 15 times 12. Let's find those products. 9x times x would give us 9x squared. And on the other side, 15 times 12 gives a product of 180. All right, the next thing you would do to isolate x is deal with the 9 first. So to undo 9 times x, we divide by 9. And that leaves x squared is equal to 180 divided by 9 is 20. And then to undo the square, we take the square root to both sides. So x is equal to both the positive and negative of, and the square root of 20 is 2 root 5, which is approximately, wait a minute, let's stop for a moment. If you look at one of the segments for one of the chords, one of the pieces, it is represented by a single x. And if you look at these measures right here, a segment cannot have a negative measure. Okay? So when you are trying to give a final answer, you would not include the negative in this case. All right? And so now we want to approximate, and as a decimal, we get 4 and 47 hundredths. Okay? Are there any questions? You have some problems on the back side of your worksheet, so I would like you to turn to the flip to the back, and let's just try one problem together. At this time, I would like for you to try problem 6. Let's all go to problem 6. I want you to set it up and work it out, and then I'll check in a moment to see what you have on your papers. So let's go ahead and look at the answer. I may begin, first of all, I want to place parentheses around the expression. Then I may want to begin with this side here. So 6 times x for one chord equal, for the other chord, 4 times the x plus 3. On the left side, we get 6x, but on the right side, we need to distribute. 4 times x is 4x, plus we need to multiply 4 times the 3. Since 6x is by itself, leave it, but bring the 4x over here with it because they are like terms. So let's undo 4x to bring it over. That leaves 2 x's, and 12 is on the other side. Divide each side by 2, we find that x is 6. And you know you can always go back and plug in the value of x into your problem, the original equation, to see if you get equal measures on both sides. Okay? So I would like you to complete the back of this sheet. Then you will get the answers from the sub. And once you get your answers, you will receive a second worksheet that you are to complete for homework. Make sure you complete it. Make sure you complete it because when you come back tomorrow, you will do a ticket in the door, and then you will learn a whole new concept. And keep in mind, we are working toward making an A on the quiz schedule for Friday. All right, see you.